Hey everyone, in this video we're going to look at comparing fractions, and our directions tell us to use the greater than symbol, the less than symbol, or equal to compare each set of fractions. So in example 1 we have the fraction 7 over 10 and we have 3 over 10. So we are comparing 7 tenths with 3 tenths. So we have common denominators. The bottom of our fractions is the same. So when we have common denominators, we just have to look at the top of our fraction and compare those two numbers. So in this case, 7 is greater than 3. So 7 tenths is greater than 3 tenths. So moving to example 2, again we have common denominators, so all we have to do is compare our numerators. Well, in example 2, 2 is less than 4, therefore 2/5 is less than 4/5. And hopefully example 3 jumps out at you. We have 1/2 and 2/4. Well, 2/4, if we simplify it, would be the same thing as 1/2. So these two are equal. So even though we did not have common denominators, hopefully you remembered from simplifying fractions that 2/4 is the same as 1/2. So if not, take a look back at that simplifying fractions video. Now moving down to examples 4 and 5, these are a little bit trickier because we do not have common denominators. So that's what we need to look at in example 4. We need to look at the process for getting a common denominator. So what we need to do in an example 4, we need to get common denominators. So we look at their multiples. We look at the multiples of 2 and the multiples of 3. And we're going to figure out the least common multiple. So I'm going to list my multiples of 2. It's 2, 4, 6, 8. And remember, I could continue this as long as I needed to. For 3, I have 3, 6, and then there it is. I found my least common multiple. So this is going to be my common denominator. So in order to get the common denominator, I need to change each one of my current denominators into a 6. So I say 2 times what gives me 6? Well, that's 2 times 3. So I need to multiply the first fraction by 3. And since I multiplied the bottom by 3, I also have to multiply the top by 3. So looking at the second fraction, I also need to change it to a denominator of 6. So I say 3 times what gives me 6? Well, that's 3 times 2. So since I multiplied the bottom by 2, I also have to multiply the top by 2. So to finish this one out, I multiply this out. So my first fraction, 1 times 3, is 3. And 2 times 3 is 6. So when I rewrite my first fraction, it's 3 over 6. And then when I rewrite the second fraction, I have 1 times 2, which is 2, and 3 times 2, which is 6. So now I'm comparing fractions with like denominators. So this is much easier. 3 is greater than 2. So 3 over 6 is greater than 2 over 6. So I should use a greater than symbol when comparing 1/2 and 1/3. So 1/2 is greater than 1/3. Moving on to example 5, again, I do not have common denominators, so the first thing I need to do is I need to figure out my least common multiple between 7 and 8. So for 7, it's 7 times 1 is 7, 7 times 2 is 14, 7 times 3 is 21, and I'm going to continue this list. So 7 times 5 is 35, times 6 is 42, then we have 49, 56, all right? And then I'm going to do the same thing for 8. So 8 times 1, 8 times 2, 8 times 3, and I'll continue this all the way out until I have a common multiple. So I still haven't found it yet, so I keep going. 48, and then finally it's 56. So my least common multiple is 56. So I need to turn each denominator into a 56. So with my first fraction, 7 times 8 is 56, so I have to multiply the top and bottom by 8. And same thing for the second fraction. 8 times 7 is 56, so I have to multiply the top and bottom by 7. So when I rewrite this fraction, I will have 48 over 56, and my other fraction is 49 over 56. So these fractions are really, really close, but 49 is a little bit bigger than 48. So this would be 48 over 56 is less than 49 over 56. So comparing my original fractions, 6 over 7 is less than 7 over 8. Hey guys, thanks for joining us for another video, and I hope this was helpful. I'm going to put a link to the next video at the top of this screen, and any related videos I'm going to leave along the bottom. Please feel free to leave any questions or any comments or any suggestions in the comments below, and we'll see you for our next video. Thanks.